following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the shit show. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. How was you guys' holiday? How'd it go for you?
Blissfully without alcohol.
How was yours, Ruben?
It was fine. Oh, actually, the holiday was actually pretty eventful per se. I wanted to do a live stream, so we had a live stream on
Awesome.
yesterday. And in fact, she basically said, "I'm going to invite my entire family to see this live stream." So her entire family watched the live stream.
Awesome.
So
were they in the chat talking to you and stuff too?
No, I got actually a text message after the fact. So interesting.
Good.
Yeah, her
now
mother
they
texted.
understand a little bit about what you're doing.
Yes, exactly.
But as you can see at the bottom, see the little ticker going by. It says "Weekend at Biden's." Well, my daughter got me this shirt. I wanted to show everybody.
Oh, zoom yourself in.
Oh my gosh!
Isn't it
Zoom
great?
in,
Oh my
zoom
God! I
yourself
just
in.
love this shirt.
You can't
It
see
is so
Yes,
funny.
solo layout woman.
Yeah, solo yourself.
I thought it was great. I thought it was
She
really
doesn't
funny.
know how to do that, apparently.
What?
What was it? What's supposed to do?
I wanted you to solo
We
yourself.
wanted
so
you to click on your thingy to
Oh.
make it, or to make your picture bigger.
Oh, by
She was-
myself. But now look, see, I'm wearing shorts because it is summer, and I'm wearing.
Yeah, but make yourself bigger.
No, we
My,
were talking about making your profile.
Oh
bigger.
no, that's
mean,
all right.
Hey, we
You can
love
see
the
it.
we love the
I
leg
thought you just
shot.
wanted to
but
see my whole self. That's what solo meant. Sorry. Oh well, I gave everybody
we
more
love
than they
the,
needed.
Hey, we're not
But I
complaining.
love these shoes. They're really great. But so I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Let's see. Low Spec, thank you for coming. Baby girl, hi. Jackie Blue, thank you so much. Papa Cotton, thank you so much for coming back to say hi to everybody. You were at the puppet show. I'm trying to remember which one was that. Is that Floral Under a Rock? Something like that.
Probably.
Yeah, I've been on their show once a while back. It's fun. They're fun. They're good people. I really like them. But today I wanted to start the show with this funny little presentation. So hold on, let me.
This is why men need to educate themselves in the complexities of women.
Yeah, no man. Okay, if a woman comes and sits next to you and she has a bowl and it looks yummy, don't eat it. If you don't know what it is, do not sample.
Let me see.
So
Oh my God, you word things so well.
Okay, here we go. Don't sample this. There we go. Here we go. Watch.
What are you doing?
See his reaction?
Yeah. No, look. You are right.
Why would you do that?
Because he's a dumbass. I mean, what other
Because
reason
he
is
thought he
there?
was being clever. He thought he was being clever.
Funny as shit. I mean, that's like disgusting. It's like some kind of shaving cream, whatever, for her legs, and she was just going to sit at the desk and shave her legs.
How did it, Ruben Thomas?
But that's what he gets because he sneakily grabs it and just takes a sample, and he's like going. Like, because it tastes like shit, and he got what he deserved. So remember,
if that is Nair, if that's Nair, his tongue is gonna burn.
Well, the thing, it's gonna burn your lips and everything. But whatever it was, he didn't know what it was. He shouldn't have took a sample of it, even though he tried to sneak it. See, if he would have said, "Hey, can I have a taste of that?" She would have said, "No, don't eat that. That's for my legs." But he didn't. He tried to sneak it. See. So he got what he deserved. Oh, well, that's funny, though. I think it's hilarious. But okay, now we'll get to business. All right, I saw this and I watched it, and I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but I wish I had, but I didn't have enough time. But I watched it and I thought, this is pretty interesting. So I figured I'd share it with you guys. Okay, here it is. It's an interview with Bannon. So I don't know if you guys got to see this or not, but I got it off of Juanita Broderick's page, and I really like her. I've been following her for a long time on X, and I thought you guys might be interested in listening to this. This is an interview from Tucker for Steve Bannon. Have you guys seen it?
No.
In my 20s, I spent almost 4 years on a Navy destroyer in the North Arabian Sea, Persian Gulf, Western Pacific, South China Sea. So in my 20s, I served my country on a Navy destroyer. And in my 70s, I'll serve my country in a federal prison. It doesn't make any difference. It won't change my life one whit. I don't have a big social agenda. I'm dedicated to this work of saving my country. And if I have to be a political prisoner, I'll be a political prisoner. Just a couple of things of what you said in the open. Remember, this is a misdemeanor. When we were in the federal courthouse, the guy that ran the federal courthouse said, and this is in D.C., he said, and I think he'd been there 30 or 40 years. He told one of my guys he had never remembered a misdemeanor ever being prosecuted. He says they're so backed up with felonies, and that's why half the three-quarters of felonies get settled out of court. They just don't. There's no time. He said he's never seen a misdemeanor ever gone to trial, particularly immediately. They remember this is a criminal charge, not civil. You get charged somebody civilly. And like in Peter Navarro, my colleague and brother, he's down in a federal prison in Miami. I don't know if they've ever had a misdemeanor if someone there. And Peter's the same way. It's a misdemeanor. So they did this. Remember, President Trump invoked executive privilege, sent my lawyer a letter on advice of counsel. My lawyer told me flat out, executive privilege has been exerted. So you just stand down, and he would handle that. I don't hold grudges against which way people vote. I understand what's going on here, as you do. I mean, this is an illegitimate regime of neo-Marxists. From the Justice Department to the FBI, the Wall Street crowd, you can see this everywhere in our society, the attacks on the family, and they play for keeps. And I'm so glad that in the Alex Joneses and the Tucker Carlsons, and particularly since you've had the opportunity to leave Fox, ourselves and so many others now understand that this is a war to the knife. Right? We have to win this. If we don't win this, this country is going to devolve into some kind of neo-Marxist totalitarian regime, of which it's pretty far down the road right now. That's why I don't fear going to prison, right? I know it's going to take my voice off. The war is still going to go on, and I keep saying it's next man up. You can't lean on Trump. You can't lean on Tucker. You can't lean on Bannon. You can't lean on Alex Jones. This is a populist revolt. You have to step up and do it yourself. You have to dive in more. You have to do more media sharing, become a force multiplier. So I'm pretty happy with where the show is right now, what the audience is going to do with the team that we've got. But it's clearly they're playing Smash Mouth. And I just think we have to wake up, and the Jim Bankses of the world and the Jim Jordans and the Speaker Johnsons. You have to understand we're in a political war, in an information war, and you got to start fighting like you're in a war.
I mean, I have to say, and I'm not trying to rub it in or make you feel bad, but if you just take 3 steps back, the fact that they're putting people in prison, men in their 70s, you and Navarro, but others, lots of others, people in prison for defying them politically. I mean, that is not the country that we grew up in. Do you ever sort of wonder where you are?
Okay, I'm going to pause it for a second. So what do you guys think about this? Now that you've gotten this perspective from where he's sitting, you know what I mean? He's not a person that was the president. Okay. So this is another person that's being politically prosecuted simply because he doesn't agree with this administration. Okay. So how many more? We got all the January 6 people still sitting in jail for misdemeanors, basically. And now you have him, and he's been sentenced, and there's someone else. I don't remember the other guy's name. I'm sorry. That was been sentenced already too. Do you guys remember who it was?
Peter Navarro. Yeah.
Okay. That's right. They did say his name. I'm sorry. But this could be you and I, because they don't like what I got my channel taken down for 3 weeks because I played something about the Surgeon General of Florida, and they didn't like it. So they pointed the finger at me and said, get her the fuck off. See, basically they crucified me for 3 weeks for my point of view, for my opinion as an American citizen. And that's exactly what's happening to him. Right. And they want to do it to Trump, and they want to do it to anyone else that doesn't agree with them. So I don't understand why everyone in every state isn't saying out with signs, making phone calls and emails, calling every governor, senator, any representative or whatever.
Because the media complex and the military media industrial complex, Hollywood, is all pointing to the narrative that Bannon, Navarro, Trump, myself, and others are against what's going on. If I say something that it's not, I say it's not true. It is true. It's going to come off as it's no longer about opinion. There is the truth that they would conspire to hold on to, and that's what they're doing it. So the fact that Bannon, who's a warrior, a patriot, just he's a military guy trying to do right for America, just like Trump. It's been really, really hard. And then Navarro as well. And then to do that, and then to be content for Congress, and now it's just getting insane. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is.
And the thing is that as long as the people in charge are in charge, even if we had Trump, news outlets would not report this. They wouldn't report who is it that abortionist in Georgia one time, Gosnell.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I wanted to say is even if we do get Trump in, okay,
yeah,
and we make a few changes for the few different senators and whatever other little things that are going on in the states, what is going to force the media to start telling the truth?
Right.
After the fact, starting in January, when Trump, or I hope, takes office, is sworn in, who's going to hold the media accountable to tell the truth about this shit?
Mm-hmm. I've given my thoughts on that before, because here's the thing.
Us, the people in the chat, the people watching this show, the people that follow you guys, these channels, and know that you're trying to get the truth out, whether it's with the movies, whether it's with the industries, with gaming, with food, anything that we're involved in, we find out the government has their hand in there, and they're moving things around and trying to keep it to where the food's so expensive we can hardly afford it, or a place to live is too expensive we can't afford it. And they're doing all this maneuvering in all these different areas in our government to affect our lives to where we have to be moved into a 15-minute city. We have to follow their rules about who we see as a doctor or a dentist or an eye doctor, all because they're pushing us into their realm to where they have to have full responsibility over us. See? Mm-hmm. So if we don't hold the media accountable, I don't see how we're going to get other people to understand what's going on. So here we go back to listen to this.
I think, like you, I've seen this coming for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I was able to work with Andrew Breitbart when you started Daily Caller. Andrew started Breitbart. I think at the time we had an inkling when Obama said fundamentally transform the United States. I think we had an inkling with Holder and these guys, but it took really President Trump as kind of someone of people that could rally around to understand that the managed decline of our country was more than just happy, more than just a campaign slogan. It's real. And I think that's, I keep saying Trump's win in 2016 was providential because I was there. We had a man, we had a mission, we had a plane, we had a message. We didn't have much. We didn't have a lot of money and not a lot of organization. And that was divine providence. We won, but I tell people it's also divine providence. It's providential that we lost in 20, that was stolen. And the reason was, up until then, you kind of thought Democrats, and they had different ideas on taxes. They had different ideas maybe on certain social programs or education programs, but it's not true. They are literally a neo-Marxist revolutionary group that wants to fundamentally change this country. And now that they have the power of big tech, the lords of easy money, Hollywood, the universities, both high culture and low culture, in the political apparatus, they're going to destroy the American Republic that we grew up with. And this is a war. It is a war. And I'm going to go in for a while as a prisoner of war. I'm a political prisoner. And you say you're shocked about it. In one regard, I would be shocked about it, but this is the least. They want to put Trump in prison for hundreds of years. They want to destroy one of the greatest Americans in our country, Rudy Giuliani. Bankrupting, destroying him. They're playing Smash Mouth. The Republicans don't even conceive of that. That's why in this Trump movement, when we start talking about Judgment Day's 5 November and Accountability Day is after President Trump takes his hand off the King James Bible at high noon on the 20th of January, 2025. McCabe's on TV every other night. McComey's on TV all the time. This is so terrible. We're having conversations. We may have to leave the country. Well, hey, leave the country, but we have extradition treaties with everybody, and the long arm of American justice is going to get you and fetch you back here. Because one thing I can tell you, with President Trump's second term, there is going to be accountability, not retribution, not revenge. He's got the border to shut down, mass deportations. He's got to stop these endless wars, particularly in the Ukraine. He's got to stop the madness of the spending and how we finance this government, which is out of control and caused inflation. But one of the most important things he has to do is deconstruct the administrative state. And part of that is literally crushing the new Praetorian Guard, which is the deep state. President Trump will do this, and I think we'll have a group of people around him that are going to be maniacally focused on to do it. But until that time, this is a war, and a lot more people are going to go to prison. A lot more people are going to prison than Steve Bannon. Yep. I tell the men and women on my team, it's time to step up. It's like at Normandy, we just commemorate the 80th anniversary. The people on the first wave, half of them didn't get up to the bulwark on the beach. They were gone. It was next man up. The only reason they got off that beach is next man up. American history is built upon next man up. You can leave. You're going to lose your best people. You're going to lose your good people. You lose the people in leadership. You'll lose the people at the front of the phalanx. You got to pick up the armor. You got to pick up the spear and do it yourself. This is going to be a very good exercise for us. I got to tell people, and I say it all the time, you can't lean. There's too much pressure on Trump. You can't lean on Trump all the time. You can't lean on Tucker Carlson. You can't lean on Alex Jones, Steve Bannon, who named 20, 50, 30, 40, James O'Keefe. You can't lean on them. You have to step up and do it yourself. That's what a populist revolt's about. And what they think is that that's an old school model. If I can take out Trump, if I can take out Tucker, if I can take out Rudy, if I can take out Alex Jones, if I can take out Steve Bannon and cause the rest of them to all be worried about being debanked and deplatformed and spin their wheels there, they win. This is going to be a challenge to show if we win. President Trump, Donald J. Trump on the 11th of January, if you think it's over the top that Steve Bannon for misdemeanors is going to a federal prison, Donald Trump, a guy that gave us 4 years of peace and prosperity, or at least 3 years of peace and prosperity before we got hit with a Chinese bioweapon, he's going to be sentenced to years at Rikers Island. Now, they're going to defer it or give him home arrest or make him a supplicant to Judge Merchant so that he can go, campaign to a limited degree. But they're in a court in New York State are going to sentence a man who is president of the United States and gave us 3 of the best years of any president in this republic's history, sentence him to prison on a case that's actually 10 times bigger joke than mine is. So don't think that if they come for Trump and sentence Trump to prison with the billions he has and the contacts he has and the fact that he's been commander in chief and president and pretty damn successful, they can come for anybody. You don't think they can put anybody in prison? And right now, if you see what's happening in New York State and California and some of these states and cities, the great cities like Chicago, with what they have running those cities, the folks they got running it, you better be prepared. There's going to be a lot more people than Donald Trump and Steve Bannon go to prison unless we stop it now. And that's why when you have people like John Yoo and Andy McCarthy, particularly John Yoo, who's no fan of President Trump and certainly not MAGA, when a guy like that is as smart as that and reason, when he comes out in National Review, which is also not, as you know, a big Trump supporting, MAGA supporting magazine, when he comes out and literally lays out, says we have a constitutional duty, attorney generals and DAs in the House to get in these Democrats' face and start indicting people. He says if we don't do that, the balance of the Constitution will be totally gone. We're going to lose the country. So when a guy like John Yoo and then backed up by Andy McCarthy, when those guys are saying that over at National Review, you realize we've hit a tripwire. July 1st, hey, I served my country on a Navy ship. I'll serve my country as a political prisoner in a federal prison for a misdemeanor. I don't bat one eye. Whatever it takes to win this revolution, we got to do.
Okay, I'm going to pause it again. Because when I was watching this, all I was thinking about was the things I've been hearing about them building these FEMA camps, right? They're saying it's FEMA camps, but what if they're for us?
Right.
What if they're for all the people that have said they're not going to vote for Biden? Okay, just think about that. What if they start coming
thinking
and
about it,
rounding people up to take it? Wait a minute. And then they send you to trial, and they have their little trial. Let's say you go through the camp, you get stripped down, they take all your shit, they put it in a locker or whatever, and then they put you in this outfit or whatever, they roll you in, and then you go up before a judge, and they say all the crimes that are against you, and then they say guilty, and then they say firing squad, and then they take you in the back and they just shoot you. Where in the Constitution, or who's fighting for the Constitution, or who's upholding the Constitution as of today, besides our SCOTUS that just ruled, right? They're not following it. They're not listening. They haven't released the January 6th people. But the thing is, what's going to stop them from doing that? Who's going to stop
us?
Them? That's right.
Obviously.
That's exactly what I just put in the chat, is that we're it, people. Just like what he's saying. We can't wait for Trump. We can't wait for anyone else to say, okay, we got to do this, because Trump stood up there January 6th and he said, don't be violent. Don't do this. Don't do that. But they still blamed him for it. They still made a mock, fake insurrection that not one person has been tried and convicted of. Not one person has been tried and convicted of insurrection. But what do I hear every day? Insurrection. Insurrection, 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 insurrection. Everybody, every channel is saying that shit, and it's a lie. But where is the people fighting back saying that's fucking lies? How can they get away with saying it day after day after day, and not one person has been arrested for saying that they're committed insurrection when nobody's been convicted of insurrection? So how is that legal? How is that upholding the Constitution? Now I'll shut up. I'll let Aaron Chat go.
Here's the thing. When it comes to being president and whatnot, if, say, I was president, one thing I would do is I would look at the, or I would ask the Supreme Court, does the freedom of press cover corporate media? Meaning, does it cover the rights to have them be claimed as media if they start acting outside of a corporate body and start acting as a governmental branch, or not branch, but a governmental arm of a governmental branch? Meaning, because we all have seen how CNN has only just started being more objective with their media. I mean, yes, there are still those with a lot of bias, but and most of them still have their bias, but they're not, or they can't, or they've already put taken the genie out of the lamp. They can't put it back in. So, but the problem is, I would ask them, do I have no choice but to let this White House press, or to let the media into my press corps? Or can I simply say, you're allowed in, I don't have to call on you? And I would tell them flat out. That's how I would say it. It's like, we are going to make a statement. You all are not going to like this. And you could try suing us. It won't work. You are entitled to report however you see fit. However, you are not entitled to have your questions answered simply because you ask them. We are going to give you reports for you to report on. You can ask your questions, or you can raise your hands to have your questions asked. We will not call on you. Not until you, for one, do a few things that you should have been doing for years, such as stop lying to the people. Your job is to inform the people. Your job is not to lie to them or indoctrinate them. You have been lying to them about the whole democracy thing. Yeah. We had that talk, I believe, last week and plus a while back, where this woman was saying, oh, our government is a democracy. It was founded by the founding fathers. And it's like, bitch, you are perverting history to the point where, honestly, I would consider it treason and I would have you arrested, because you are maliciously abusing a constitutional right. Now, yes, that is within your right to do so. However, when you are using it as a weapon, which this media is doing, there should be safeguards. I'm sorry, folks. Yes, I am a constitutionalist, But I also do believe that the Constitution was not created for it to be abused and misused maliciously.
Well, the thing is look at what's going on with all these people that are getting arrested, right? And put in jail. They're nitpicking where they're saying they broke the law, okay, because they spoke out against this
Right.
regime or whatever
We're
you want to
allowed to
call it.
speak.
I know,
against
but that's the thing. Is it, think about it. In less than 8 years, we
Yeah.
have went from my opinion is versus your opinion to we have here is what the truth is, and you're
Mhm.
racist or you're evil. That's or misinformation, and this is everything that's going on now. So essentially, like the perfect example right now is we all know we were all laughed at the media who
Mhm.
right after Biden's horrific performance were basically saying, "Oh my God, what's wrong? What's wrong with him?" We already
Yeah,
knew
sure.
he was already like an idiot.
Yeah.
And then they're saying, "Oh, he had a cold, he had this, he had that." That's a narrative. Excuse me, that's a narrative now.
That's the lies
all
he's
the-
telling currently.
But no, but
Yeah,
the
it's not
biggest lie,
working.
the biggest lie he's saying right now is that CNN didn't fact check Trump, and Trump lied 28 times. So that is all you hear now from the hive mind. That
Yeah.
Trump lied, CNN got bamboozled by Trump. They didn't fact check him, and he lied 28 times. And that's all they'll hear. And again, no substance, no nothing. Not on what he lied about, not just that he lied. That's it.
Because they don't need evidence. Okay. They can say whatever they
Correct.
want. That's it. It's what they say, not what's truth. Okay.
Correct.
And they
correct.
need to be challenged. And that is why
You have to have somebody with balls to challenge them, because it's not the people that's in office right now. I don't
Correct.
see hardly, I mean, honestly, there's like 5 Republicans that I've even seen speak out. And these are people that were voted in. Where's all the other people?
I know.
Where are the people we voted in to protect us from these people? Where are they? See, they're not protecting us. So see, even though they haven't pulled a gun on me, and even though they haven't arrested me or anything, they stood by and watched me be assaulted. They
Where's my
watched
me
be bludgeoned to death, basically, by my government, and did nothing. So to me, they should all go to prison for the ones that just stood around and didn't do their job. And every single person that stood up and said, this is bullshit, and then they were reprimanded by Congress or whoever because they were speaking out. Okay.
Well, that's the
all
thing.
Of those people should be pardoned or whatever, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Navarro, Stone, Bannon here, Trump,
like
are the
Giuliani.
Giuliani.
And, any of them. Yeah. They've lost, see, and all the people, January 6 people, they lost everything. They lost their homes, their cars, their jobs.
Yep.
They've lost everything. So how do you give that back? How do you give someone back 3 years of their life and everything they've worked hard for? Because if they came and took their houses, repoed their house, what happened to all their pictures, all their things their kids made them in kindergarten, their drawings that were given to them, the photographs, all the things, the personal items that belong to these people? What happens to all that?
Yeah.
See,
that's the best way to do it.
You can't get that back. No matter how much, I don't care if you gave me $1 billion, it doesn't give me back what I lost in my family, all the things that I earned and worked hard for, the things that you can't purchase. You can't get those back because they were stripped away with the constitutional rights they took from me. See, that's how I'm looking at all these people. Okay. Yep. And if we did all these things to anyone on the left, we would probably already been in front of a firing squad, honestly.
Right.
That's how I'm seeing.
Right.
That's kind of
this is why I'm saying
bullshit.
This is why I'm saying the way that the left is so terrified of Trump being elected means that they know that if he's elected, they're going to be exposed for what they've done completely.
But they don't think what they're doing right now is exposing them?
No, they don't think that.
They know.
See? I think that they
know.
do know, and that's why they're
Because
going to
they've
do
lost credibility.
anything to keep
But
them.
they don't. But,
Their
but
ratings
they've lost credibility with some people, not everybody.
Yeah.
Think about it.
True, but
'Cause
their
again-
ratings have
'cause again-
tanked and they have lost a lot of money.
What was it? What was the thing? They said 33% of people believe that Biden won the debate.
Mhm.
33% of people think Biden won the debate.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
1/3 of the
unfortunate.
people are just completely lost. They're gone.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. You'll never get that. You'll never reach those people.
You're right, you won't. And here's the thing: Biden recently did a thing where he's like, "I had one bad day, but I am not going to leave this race. I am going to beat Trump again in 2020." And then you had all these fucking SEALs clap about it, and it's like, you guys do realize he just gaffed again.
Yeah, they don't care. They're paid shills.
Right.
Well, okay, I'm going to get back to this.
Also communicate with my team and other people on the outside within prison regulations, whatever those regulations are. So I'll be fully occupied. I'm proud to work 18 hours a day. I have nothing else in my life going on except this, so it won't stop. And we'll just continue to press on. I've told my team there can't be one drop in quality. There can't be one drop in audience participation or impact. And so it's on my team to do it. And I'll hopefully be in communication with those guys, but I'm very confident we build a team up here that will continue on. Like I tell them, it's next man up. You don't know if Tucker Carlson's going to be there tomorrow or you're going to be rounded up.
Yeah.
You don't know if President Trump's going to be. By the way, they could remand him to Rikers that afternoon. I think it'd be incredibly foolish, and obviously a stretch even for those crazies. But Trump could be remanded to prison that afternoon. In fact, if you look at Tish James and Rachel Maddow and those people they've got that we'll all investigate when we take power as their participation in this. If you look at Weissman, those guys, they want him remanded on the afternoon of July 11th. They don't want him to go to the Republican convention, stand on that stage and before the world take the nomination that was so hard fought for and really stand up and get it on with Biden one-on-one, which I think right now this thing will be a blowout. So no, they're playing special. Look at Rudy Giuliani, one of the greatest mayors we've ever had, one of the greatest Americans, and just an amazing guy. To bankrupt him, they want to jail him. I think he's got sentences out there, potential of 30 or 40, 50 years. Tina Peters, a Gold Star mother from Colorado. I think she's looking at prison time on multiple felonies of, I think, 20 or 30 years. The 75-year-old grandmother they just put in prison last week, gave her 2 years in ill health at 75 years old, gave her 2 years in a federal prison. So these people won't stop at anything. Whether you're a religious, right now you're a religious individual, whether you go to a traditional Catholic mass church, and that in Richmond, the FBI, the Richmond office, that was the church my parents started. That they started looking at. My parents were very devout Catholics, and as soon as they were able to start a Latin mass back in the 70s in the diocese, they took a couple of the priests out of the monastery and they formed a Latin mass. That was one of the churches that was the one that gave the guys in the Richmond field office, because it's a very traditional, very blue collar, tons of kids going to the military, go to the academies, but really enlist in the Marine Corps and the Navy and the Army. And that's what the FBI is going after. They're saying that they're building political extremists, that this is where extremism is coming from. Your government has turned against you, not our country, the government. This illegitimate regime has taken over the apparatus of the United States government and is enforcing dictatorial power. And we have to stand up for it, just like the revolutionary generation stood up to the dictatorial power of the crown and people like the British East India Company.
What they hate most is Christianity, for sure. Well, you're a brave and magnanimous man. And so God bless you. Good luck.
That once said, give me liberty or give me death.
Mm-hmm.
I live by that. The second anybody tries arresting me for something I did not do, or simply for not going along with what the government says, meaning if they do engage in anything that is unconstitutional, I can automatically defy that by actual lawful right. You ever hear the law of the land? Anything in any law that is in direct conflict with our Constitution is automatically null and void.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people say, well, you got to go to court to challenge that and whatnot. No, honestly, you don't. Honestly, you don't. Because do you think they were doing all that shit during the original revolution? During or after the Constitution was written? No. You think they were doing, or you think they said, if you're trying to violate my rights, I'm going to take you to court? No. They're going to say, get off my fucking lawn, or this will happen, or that will happen. And the same will apply with me. If they try to come and arrest me simply because I did not go along with a governmental agenda, or they can try to arrest me. I'll take out as many as I can before they get me, because they will have to kill me. I will not be subjected to to be a political prisoner. I just won't. That's not how I'm built. I will not accept that at all. They will have to end my life. Whether or not I'm remembered, I don't care. The only thing the only thing that matters is I stood up for what was right.
Well, see, I think they know that. Okay. See, that's what I was going to say is they know already simply by what we say every day on social media, and what signs we have in our yard, what political affiliation we have. They know. So they know that you, me, and a whole bunch of others are not going to go down without a fight. And so they're going to try to take us out any way they can before there is a fight. You see what I mean? So whether it's by, taking out our power grid, taking our water from us, taking down a bridge to where we can't get enough food for everyone, so that we riot in the streets because we're hungry and we're fighting because the stores are empty. That's what I was saying last year when I was talking to you about it, about why I thought we might not have an election, is because they're fixing it to where we're going to take each other out, because whatever's left after the riots and the burnings and all the other stuff, that's when the government will be able to come in, because there won't be fewer of us. There's going to be less of us to have to worry about, because they're going to have all their thugs doing all their dirty work for them. And they'll just say, well, thank you guys for doing it. We'll give you some extra breadcrumbs, whatever.
When a government acts in a terroristic fashion, that government has truly become null and void. Meaning there is only one proper response, and that is to destroy said government.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know I'm on a list. I've already had my channel.
We have every single legal, we have every single legal right to destroy it. Yes, even with violence. No offense, I do not. Or now, don't get me wrong, folks. I'm not going to be the one to lead a fucking charge at all. Or I don't think anybody here is either. I know my limitations. I am not a fucking leader.
Yeah, and many times I've said that I will be dead on my front porch, because I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to hand over everything I've earned and worked hard for, as if I know hundreds and hundreds of people that I know and I've spoken to. I don't know a million, but I know hundreds of people myself. No, I'm talking about people I actually have talked to that are going to do the same thing.
But here's the thing. A lot of these idiots on the media love to say, oh, January 6th was an insurrection. Do you really think, people in the media, do you really think Democrats and all of them, do you honestly think that if we staged an insurrection, that if conservatives, Republicans, what have you, if we honestly wanted to stage an insurrection, do you think we would have failed? No.
Yeah, but do you think we would have went there without a shit ton of guns? That's the one thing
we would have had a fucking armed revolt.
Nobody had guns. Why would a bunch of gun-loving?
This was a fucking setup.
Bible-toting people show up for an insurrection with no weapons. I mean,
and there is the footage.
It's ridiculous.
Folks, there is the footage of Antifa folks coming in, going behind certain doors, and freaking changing into their freaking black shit. Do not freaking believe the shit that is coming from the media. January 6th was a Democrat freaking operation. Nancy Pelosi is on tape confessing to her responsibility for January 6th.
Yeah, I saw that video. But yeah, so the thing is, I wanted to show that because, yes, the Supreme Court did rule and make a few changes and things for the January 6th people and for Trump. Okay. And that's why I wanted to play this next part, because I think it's important, because I don't think a lot of people have gotten to see it. So hold on, let's see which one is it? Ends with 840. So hold on. I think it's this one. Okay. Let me push pause. It always starts as soon as I open it. Okay. This was a post by Mike Davis, and I watched the video. I thought it was pretty good. It says, one of the major fallouts from this immunity ruling is the Supreme Court correctly held that you can't gather and use evidence of a president's eternal deliberations on his official acts, because that would chill his office acts, of course. And that's exactly the evidence that Alvin Bragg and Matthew, I can't pronounce his last name, Colin Inglo, and Judge Juan Merchant used in the bogus show trial in Manhattan against President Trump. Oh, Michello or whatever.
Colin Jello.
Call in Jello.
Yeah,
there
get
we go.
Jello on the
Thank
phone.
you.
Colin Jello.
Okay. All right. Then it says, it looks like his New York case was stopped in its tracks. At minimum, Judge Merchant will have to declare a mistrial due to the induction of evidence the Supreme Court just ruled they can't use. Yet another victory, okay, against lawfare. So I wanted to play this video because I think it's really, really good, and it helps explain a lot of the stuff even someone like me could understand. So here we go.
To Jim Jordan and any of the commentary there, the issues at stake, or you can riff on your own on the court cases, take it wherever you will.
So one of the major fallouts of this recent Supreme Court presidential immunity case is the Supreme Court correctly held that you can't gather and use evidence of the president's internal deliberations on his official acts, because that would chill his official acts. And guess what? That's exactly the evidence that Alvin Bragg and Matthew Colangelo and Judge Juan Merchant used in the bogus show trial in New York. And so, along with many, many other reasons that this case getting reversed on appeal, it looks like this Trump presidential immunity case has stopped that New York case in its tracks, where I think Judge Merchant is at a minimum going to have to declare a mistrial, because they introduced evidence that the Supreme Court just said they're not allowed to introduce because it interferes with the official duties of the president of the United States and has a chilling effect on the ability of the president to do his job if he has to explain his internal decision-making process to Congress or courts. So you could see a mistrial here. They just delayed the July 11th sentencing. Maybe this Judge Merchant's finally coming to his senses, and maybe he should understand that he's going to face a criminal probe, or he should face a criminal probe under the Trump 47 Justice Department for being part of a criminal conspiracy to violate President Trump's constitutional rights, which is a very serious federal civil rights felony, 18 U.S.C. 241 and 242. And judges are not immune. Nobody's above the law, as they say on the Democrat side. Well, judges are certainly not above the law when they're conspiring with a Soros-funded Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg and an Obama and Biden senior political appointee Matthew Colangelo to violate Trump's constitutional rights. And they're doing this while Judge Merchant's adult daughter, Lauren Merchant, is lining her pockets, raising millions of dollars off this unprecedented case, Judge Merchan clearly must have recused under New York statute, and instead he retaliated against Trump. This whole house of cards, this whole Biden Democrat lawfare and election interference house of cards is collapsing and collapsing fast.
Good. Hey, Mike, go over that one more time. The highest level argument for us non-lawyers. You just said something that, now I get it, but I didn't have it in my head. So we're talking about the immunity case.
Yeah.
And then you said it's up on appeal. It's on appeal, which is a key. And then the appeal leads to retroactive decision making, going back in time. That has major implications. So just spell that out for us non-lawyers, how immunity and then the appeal gets us to go back in time to get this thing right.
So the Supreme Court in the January 6th case in D.C. with Jack Smith and Biden's January 6th case against Trump, the Supreme Court just held that you cannot prosecute the president of the United States for his official acts, including the outer perimeter of his official acts. And that is just extending 40-year-old precedent in the civil context, the Nixon case, Nixon versus Fitzgerald. That's extending that to the criminal case. So now the president, like federal judges, like members of Congress, are immune from criminal prosecution for their official acts. And if you ruled any other way, you're going to destroy the presidency. Another part of that ruling, like the speech or debate clause, like congressional immunity, you can't use evidence of the deliberations on official acts against the member of Congress or against now the president of the United States. Because if you're able to do an end run around immunity by using evidence of the internal deliberations of the official decision making, you're going to destroy the president's ability to make decisions like it would destroy a member of Congress.
Brilliant.
So what happened was
perfect.
Alvin Bragg used evidence of the president's internal decision making in the New York trial. That is going to be reversible error, clearly reversible error. It's going to stop that case in its tracks because you're dealing with immunity. That case now could be toast, just like the January 6th case, and just like Big Fanny's case.
We're going to. All right.
The thing is that I can't believe any of that was even able to be in court. You know what I'm saying? That's what shocked me about most of it when I was watching. And I'm not even smart when it comes to legal stuff, but they were still able to use it against him in court. And there wasn't a lawyer that stood up and said, that's bullshit.
Because we're built on, or we learned all this stuff when we were kids. I mean, for crying out loud. I mean, not kids. I mean, some of us were in high school when we learned this. But the problem is they are trying to do everything they can, and it's not working. That's why I say let the shit play out.
But
let the shit
working,
play out, because then you have established precedent.
A shit ton of money, and people like Giuliani are bankrupt now, and he's lost his license in the state of New York. How do we, as American citizens, punish all these people that have dragged all these people through court and all the money? See, that's what I'm saying. Once this is cleaned up and they get all this stuff thrown out, New York and California are going to come and say, we need a bailout. And guess
that is
what?
when the federal government can tell them.
We're going to have to pay them.
Nope. No, the federal government doesn't have to pay them. The federal government can look at them and say, look, what you have done by taking part in the persecution of political enemies and by taking part in, or first off to California. Honestly, if I was the commander-in-chief, the first thing I would do is I would say, we are going to send in the national or the U.S. Army into California, as California is now declared an enemy or territory, as they have proclaimed allegiance to China by having Newsom welcome Xi Jinping and also putting a Chinese national on their election boards and whatnot.
Yeah.
That is an act of treason as far as I'm concerned. So yes, I would have the army go into California.
So
but here's
I
the
still
thing.
think he's going to be put on the ticket. We'll see.
But here's the thing. I would also say the army is only in here for one purpose. People, you are, or one, we are not here to attack you. Two, we are here to evacuate any citizen who wishes to leave this state due to the fact that this state is acting in violation of federal law. And we are not going to allow any citizen of the United States to be held hostage here if they wish to flee this state.
Mm-hmm.
The state has acted against the interests of the United States by aligning with the Chinese, which is a known enemy of the United States. So we are going in. We are not going in with hostility. We are going in to make sure that our citizens are helped to leave the state. After that, we will make sure that those citizens alone are given what resources they need to relocate to another state of their choosing.
Mm-hmm.
And the state of California and whatever citizens decide to stay behind will have their citizenship removed, and the state will no longer be considered a territory of the United States. It will be considered a hostile nation. And then we will have every route that leads out of the state blockaded, or block it, or have blockade set up. If anybody tries to leave the state after we have established that the state is now on its own, well, we will see that as a direct violation.
Yeah, somebody said that.
Or an invasion.
Somebody was saying that a couple weeks ago. I don't know if it was one of us or somebody in this thing, and I was talking about it to some other people, and they said years ago, I don't remember it ever happening, but they said years ago, you used to have to go through blockades to get to different states, and they would check and see if you had fruits and vegetables and other things. And I was like, what? Did you guys know that we had that?
Oh, I've seen that happen. I mean, that happens up in Canada.
No, I'm talking about from one state to another. They used to have that in the United States. So, Ruben, do you know what I'm talking about?
My brother might be able to answer that if I give him a call.
If anybody in the chat and knows what I'm talking about, I don't know who it was that said it. I think it might have been in a space, but we were talking about it.
I've only done that, when going from Mexico, United States, or Canada, Hawaii.
But no, this was from you're going from one state to another, and you weren't allowed to take certain fruits and vegetables in, and you had to have paperwork and some other stuff. I don't know what it was for, but I didn't get a chance to look.
I know, but I don't
remember what it was.
Yeah,
but I was like, that was in the United States. Yeah. So I would like to know who the president was and stuff like that. I think it's interesting because what law were they using to be able to do that? To be able to stop you from being able to freely travel from one state to another. I was shocked when I heard. I was like, "What? You're full of shit." I didn't believe them, but they were saying, "No, it's true." So, if anybody knows anything about that, I'd really appreciate it if you guys are in the chat and know anything about it, because I just thought it was so interesting when I heard about it, because I thought what we're going through right now is pretty much the worst things ever happened, about taking our rights away. But the thought of driving to go see a friend in Texas, or from Texas, let's say, to Arizona and Nevada, because I have relatives in Nevada, that I have to stop at the different state lines and be frisked or whatever.
California, I do believe has states like that. As for going through the governor, to John M's point, go after the governor. He would be we would first go in, and we would also tell him, you are being stripped of any governmental access that you have. You are no longer a federal politician. You are now a member of an enemy state. You have no right or authority to stop any citizen who wants to leave the state.
They said they have checkpoints still. What did they stop and ask? At the checkpoint in California, what are they asking people? Is it a checkpoint to check for drugs, booze? I'm interested. It says,
There are
here's
snow-janet
one.
rules on some fruits and
It's
some
a good
fruits and
thing.
vegetables is a good
More
thing.
important because of various bugs. Oh, you think that's what it was for? It
Yeah.
might have been, because I remember they were looking through our trunk one time, but that was in Mexico. But I guess that's normal when you go through the border. But yeah, that could be it. Yeah, fruits and vegetables. Thinking about that, because I remember a couple years ago we took my mother to Mount Rushmore, and they were saying that they had all these trees marked, and we were asking them what it was, and they said there was some kind of beetle infestation, and they were going to take all these trees out. So I guess that could devastate a state if you were bringing in bunch. But can't bugs fly? You know what I mean?
Migration, sure.
So I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So what?
Migration, sure. But all right. Well, then to John M's point, then yes, state troopers and National Guard, I guess, would have to be used.
Mm-hmm. What about sheriffs?
Sheriffs are instituted by the or by governorship.
So
I do believe.
So what does that mean?
I don't know that much on that bit or on the
because see, the
intricacies.
National Guard can only be called in your state if you ask. If the governor from your state asks to have the National Guard brought in, because the federal government doesn't have the right to take federal employees basically and rush into your state to control the people, unless
Now,
the governor
here's
asks for it. Right?
one thing I would also look up if I was president was declaring a state of emergency due to the fact that we are invaded, or through invasion, or because of purpose of invasion. We have been invaded due to California's shifting allegiance to China.
Yeah.
If there is an emergency clause act in which emergency powers are or can be enacted, I'd submit to Congress and I would tell them. I think that it is fair to say that this state has not pledged its allegiance to our nation, and therefore I am asking your permission to declare a state of emergency in which our military can protect our country from a possible threat. I mean, I would obviously not just go in willy-nilly. I mean, yes, I know that that's how it seemed. I said it would, but I would actually investigate the legal avenues of doing it before I went the emergency route, is what I'm saying now that I'm thinking it a little bit further through. Because yes, I do think on the fly. So it's better to think things through, folks, honestly. Because yes, violation of the Constitution, as a constitutionalist, I would, or if it's like, yeah, if that is against the Constitution, I will take a step back. I will look at it. And I would seek a person who is a little bit more versed in Constitution. Yes, I can look it up and whatnot. Federal government can't take over a state. The federal government may not be able to take over a state, but I'm pretty sure there is something along the lines of they can make sure that a state does not pose a threat to the to the rest of the other states. It is not the fact that they are taking over a state. It is that they are relieving a state of its statehood. I mean, if the federal government can claim eminent domain, I'm pretty sure that there's something about a statewide eminent domain.
How they can only say that on some property, and it has to be federally owned land, right?
True.
They can't just go onto your property. Just say your dad or your grandpa gave you 300 acres that was in the family for so long or whatever. The state could take your property from you if you don't pay personal property taxes on it, right? But the federal government can't come in and take your property, but the state could. Isn't that the way that most of the states work?
Well, John M., he's saying that it would be secession. And the thing is, I wonder if a federal secession is actually legal.
That's what I said. It'd be interesting to find out
Because
some of this
state
stuff. I never
secessions or
thought of
states
any
can
of this
secede.
stuff. I've never had to think about it because I never thought anything like this would ever happen. You see what I mean? I never thought the federal government would ever do what it's doing right now to American citizens, like with January 6th.
Bannon said it's not the federal government; it's actors in the federal government that are doing it.
Yeah, I know, but we don't see. You had the three branches of government. I thought we had one overseeing the other and the other one making sure the other one was doing their stuff. You know, it was a balance. This is what I always felt growing up. But now we're to a point where we have people that are put in jail without any charges yet. They don't even know what the charges are for a year, over a year for some of them. And they sit in jail in Washington, D.C., now they're there for 3 years. They've lost their jobs. They've lost their homes. They've lost their vehicles. Lots of them have gotten divorced because they weren't around. Okay. Their kids are growing up without even knowing what they look like anymore. All this happening to them, and none of them were even arrested for or put in jail for insurrection. These are all misdemeanors. Okay. And not any of our other branches of government aren't standing up saying you can't do that. It's against the Constitution. Remember, every week you would say something, they can't do that because it's the Constitution. You've got the Constitution. We got the Constitution. But the Constitution is only any good if there's someone to back it. If we don't have anyone that comes out of the woodwork and says, fuck you, that's against the Constitution and get the fuck out of the way. You can't do that shit. When we have that, then I'll believe, wow, the Constitution is worth something. We have a government that's fighting for it. But where is everyone? That's what I don't understand. Where are the people fighting for them? What?
When I have used all the, or it goes without, I'm actually going to have to point this out in private chat because I can't exactly say it on.
Okay, that's fine. Put it in the private chat for me so I'll quit asking it because I'm just wondering where these people are.
Another thing is, if I was actually president, and I believe Trump should do this as well, I would actually ask the Supreme Court to rule on something, whether or not the Declaration of Independence is a living document and can be also, and I would also push a proposal to Congress to or to codify the Declaration of Independence as a law. Because as a federal and I would also seek to have state governors codify the Declaration of Independence as a state law and actually use its text as a law or as laws. Because if they do, I will tell you in a second, or if they do that, we have every right for any means necessary removal of political positions that have violated our Constitution, meaning we don't have to seek it through court. They are, or because as that one line, when a long train of abuses and usurpations line in the Declaration, reduce themselves to under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and provide future security or provide future guards for their future security. I know I'm butchering the freaking Declaration of Independence, folks, but essentially it means when something is wrong, the people have a responsibility that is automatically granted to them to do something about that wrong that has been done.
Okay, well, here was the next thing I wanted to bring up. This guy on Twitter or X that I follow is Wall Street Ape. And he's been saying, was real interesting to me, was that 42 years ago, CBS told the world that Earth's temperature was rising out of control due to burning coal and oil. 25% of Florida is about to be flooded and a widespread disruption of agriculture is coming. Okay. This was 42 years ago. And this is the same climate shit that we hear every single time we turn around. Okay. Right. And people keep saying the Plymouth Rock, okay, is still in the same place and it's not covered up with water. So if the ice caps were melting and stuff like that, all of this, the coast would be flooding. I mean, it's just no way not to have that happen, right? So I just thought it was really interesting was this whole article that I was reading and then getting to listen to this. This was just, it's just shocking because they're saying, it's like they got a script from, years and years ago, and they're still reading the same scripts over and over again to whip people up, to make them think that, we got to have no plastic. You can't use paper because it cuts down trees. You can't do this. You can't do that because everything is destroying the earth. You fart and you burp, you're going to destroy the earth. It's like, it's pathetic. So I wanted to play this so somebody could hear it. Make sure it's turned up. Okay, here we go.
Concern about rising temperatures on planet Earth heated up a hearing here in Washington today. For years, scientists have theorized about the dangers of the so-called greenhouse effect, the warming of the Earth's atmosphere due to the burning of coal and oil. And in recent months, as David Culhane reports, research has uncovered facts to support that theory.
Many scientists claim that the temperature of the Earth's atmosphere has been rising over the past 100 years, that the great sheets of pack ice in Antarctica are melting at a much more rapid rate than previously. And finally, that the sea level has been rising with increasing swiftness over the past 40 years. If these scientists are correct, about 25% of Florida would be flooded, along with low-lying areas all over the world. Climate changes could produce widespread disruption of agriculture. The American farm belt might be too dry, and the wheat and corn crops would have to move to Canada. Scientists blame the odorless, colorless carbon dioxide gas for these potentially dangerous changes around the planet. It is the greenhouse effect. The gas allows sunlight to filter down and warm the earth. But like the glass of a greenhouse, the carbon dioxide tends to trap heat so that it cannot rise into space. The scientists maintain that the coal, oil, and gas we've been burning for 100 years have produced more and more carbon dioxide and helped overheat the earth. Now, some political leaders endorse the demands for more CO2 monitoring stations, like this one in Hawaii. And they share the anger of the scientists at Reagan administration budget cuts at a time when they feel closer to getting definitive answers.
We are not doing the kind of research that we should be doing to determine whether or not these scientists who are so alarmed are correct in their assessment.
And what they find out will affect the lives and fortunes of millions of people. This one. David Culhane, CBS News, New York.
What cracks me up, though, is did you see who that was?
Lock Boggs.
Al Gore. Okay. And he has like 5 private jets. Okay. And multiple houses that have huge air conditioning units and shit. And then you got all these people like the Obamas and stuff all moving to whatever the name of that place is, Martha's Vineyard and all this shit. Okay. And they keep buying more and more property right on the beach. And if they really believed all this shit, why would they buy property they know is going to flood in 5 years or would have already be flooded by now? See what I'm saying? It's disgusting. And I think that all of these things that they put out 40 something years ago should be brought back out and somebody should do a documentary on it or something. I'm even thinking about maybe doing a couple shows and showing all these old videos of all the climate change shit and then showing where they said this is getting that's going to happen and get video from Google Earth to show, hey, the water level is exactly the same as it was 40 years ago. So where is all the damage that they said that was going to happen? And plus, our country is one of the cleanest in the world. Get on Google Earth and go look at some of the rivers and stuff in India, okay? And look at the ones where they have the clouds that show you the chemicals and stuff supposedly coming out into the atmosphere, and go over China and go over some of those other countries like India and stuff, compared to what our part looks like over the United States. We don't pollute like they do. Okay. We're clean. We're really clean. We replant trees. We try to do everything. We recycle. We do all this stuff, but yet we're the ones that pay for everyone else that's supposed to be doing something. We're sending billions of dollars a year on top of, besides Ukraine and shit, to China, to India, and to all these other countries to help them. They do nothing but spend our money on whatever it is they want. I'm sick and tired of America paying everybody's bills. We got to buy their war stuff. We got to buy their planes. We got to buy all their shit. We pay tariffs for our stuff to go to their countries. They pay nothing when they come over here, but we're sending them billions of dollars every year. Why? What do they do for us? They do nothing. They do nothing for us, so we got to stop paying any of them. Remember everybody, all the fits everybody threw when we said that, or when Trump was saying that he was going to pull us out of the climate accord. He was going to take us out of all this
climate accord.
And it worked. And look at it. What did it hurt us? We were still clean. We didn't start just throwing our shit out the window and pouring oil in the water that we drink.
Right.
We didn't doing all this shit.
Right.
But they're still doing the same shit they were doing before he was president. See, where is the common sense? I mean, where are all the people that are saying they're fucking tired of this bullshit? Stop telling our kids that they're going to die and their homes are going to flood, when you've been saying this for over, 60 years. They've been saying this shit and scaring kids and making.
You should actually do the video. You should do the video, a parody video of going back and seeing all the old videos. What you should do it. You should do it dressed up like an 80s reporter.
Yeah, I can do that. I've done 80s reporter before and older reporters than that. But the thing is, it's ridiculous. I mean, it really is. But when I saw it again, I was like, holy shit, they're still saying the same shit that they said 40 something years ago. And did you see the Florida map and how all the beaches and shit would be gone? It'd be all new beaches. All that stuff would be gone.
Yeah.
But
Which
it's
is
still
true.
here.
Yeah,
I
it's
have
still
relatives that live in Florida, and they've been, and some of them have been there for 3 generations. They still have the same property and shit. They have $1 million lots where it's $1 million for a trailer house on a lot in Florida.
Yep.
So, and you think you could sell a trailer house for $1 million if they thought it was going to flood? I don't know.
I find
just think it's ridiculous.
absolutely disturbing.
Yeah, fierce.
Waterfront property happens to have or happens to cost immense amounts more than normal property that's not waterfront. And I absolutely hate that, because why is water judged as or why does water increase the value of a property? Simply because of it being there, or because it's a great view, or whatever. It does not, or as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I'm aware, not concerned, but aware, it doesn't, or it's not part of the actual property. So how can somebody actually include the water in that aspect into the price
like
of a house?
the lot that I have? Okay, it's 4.5 acres. There was an artesian well, and I got the well with it. I got the water.
I'm not talking about the well. I'm talking about like a lake or a beach or something like that.
Oh, well, I guess you'd get the front of it, the edge of it. But the thing is, almost now in the United States of America, it's almost impossible to get the mineral rights when you buy property. Did you know that?
No.
Say that again.
Because if you go, let's say you find out that your property has, you have it, looked at and whatever, and then they find out that there's oil or gas underneath, they won't let you buy that. They won't let you buy the oil rights or the gas rights. You can only buy the land. And then they can put a big thing, somebody, I don't know who it is, put something on there to drill it, whatever, while you grow, you live on it. So I don't know. I don't know how all that stuff works because I'm not a realtor, but that's why you have to go to school for so long to become a realtor and understand the laws and stuff in the different states to be able to sell properties and stuff. So I don't know how it works, but it seems pretty sad when we first got here and the homesteaders went out on their with their horses and their little wagons and went out and staked claim on a piece of property, and some of them even mined for gold and did all this different stuff, to now to where you can buy a little smidgen piece of land, but you don't even own the rights if you find oil on it or gold. You can't even keep the shit. Heck, you get arrested now if they found out you buy a plot of land and you go out and you find arrowheads or a fox on it, of a dinosaur or something like that. You can get arrested if you don't turn it all over to the government. So, they've slowly over time, the government has just taken away our rights.
It's crazy.
And it's up to us to and make changes in your state and take our government away from the federal government and bring it back to the states. Once we do that, then we'll start seeing changes. I mean, I got a governor now that's starting to do that. She went out and said, China can't buy property. We're not going to let anyone from China, any corporation from China or anything, come here and buy land. That's not going to. So, and she took the land away from some people. I don't know who it was, some company from China, and told them to get the fuck out. So it can happen if you have enough people and you back your governors and the people in office that are trying to fight for your state. But until we do that, I don't see how we're supposed to be able to protect ourselves or get our rights back away from the federal government. Our states have to start fighting back and saying, F you, we're not complying. Just like, with Title IX or any of these other things that this fucked up government that we have right now has been trying to shove down our throats. Right. So until we do that, I don't see how we're going to make any changes. Well, the next thing I wanted to bring up, I thought was pretty fun. It was a cute thing. It was on Tucker. Another thing on Tucker. Yeah, I know. I got a lot of that stuff. But I just thought it was great. So I wanted to see if anybody's seen it. It's an upbeat thing because, some upbeat things can happen on the shit show. But I wanted everybody to see this. I'll make sure it's turned up. It's Kid Rock, and he's hanging out with Tucker.
No, it's still part of the property. I don't have the interior road system done yet.
The centerpiece is a version of the White House. He's built on a hill overlooking the rest of Nashville. It's enormous.
What? Can you make it bigger? No, it's already big.
Interior design, been dreaming it up for 20 years. Got to leave your mark somehow, right?
This is insane.
Yeah, 7-mile shot directly to downtown Nashville. But it's just when I walked up to get this property, we've got our truck stuck. Got ticks all over us. This thick, and he goes, "Dude, let's get out of here." I'm like, "It's said views. It's just put on your big boy pants. We get to here." And I'm like, write him a check.
He's put a great deal of thought and energy into all the details, very much including the bathroom.
This is one of my better ideas. It's not done yet.
This is... Okay, can I just...
You know how hard it is to find gold toilets?
No, gold toilets. Gold urinal? That's impressive.
No.
Every man in America is like, I wish I had a urinal in my house.
Zach Brown found me this bed. And then I had it all. It's like, Eagles stuff, but it's all like gold leafed. Big eagle up here and pretty crazy.
So Zach Brown found your bed for you?
Yeah, he likes to antique too. So he found that eagle out front on top of the house too. But it was just a brass eagle. And then I had a 24 karat gold plated. And I traded him some old gas signs for him and blah, blah, blah.
So you're going from a double wide to this?
Yeah, with just baby steps.
Come on. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's what I tell you about. I love the bowl. It gets cold in Michigan. We used to bowl out in the winter. And really it was kind of a use of space because it was a shooting range at first. I'm like, got 200 acres to shoot guns.
Right.
And I was like, so I started researching how much footage do you need for a bowling alley, mainly the length. And it turned out that I had the perfect space. And I'm like,
oh, yeah.
Hope we got that on tape. That's the first strike I've thrown in here.
Wow. So if you guys get a chance and you haven't seen it, you need to go and watch Tucker's interview with Kid Rock on Tucker's channel.
Mhm.
It's really, really fun. It's a really good interview. But see, I like the fact that Tucker is spreading himself out. He's
Right.
not just sticking on just politics or one certain subject. He's spreading out and getting tons of people in and bringing in their point of view of things. And I really like that. I think that I really like Tucker. I even like him more now that he's away from Fox than I did when I first started watching him on Fox. I haven't watched Fox News in over a year, at all. I haven't watched anything on there. The only things I've watched is a couple little snippets that I put on this show for Waters. That's it. That's all. The only stuff I ever see on there now. I don't watch any of their stuff. I don't support them in any way because I think they're just a bunch of assholes, sucking the President Biden's dick. Basically, they do whatever they tell. They bend over, take it up the ass for this administration to screw us. To fuck us and lie to us and try to pull the wool over people's eyes. And I don't know how they sleep at night. I really don't. I mean, I have laid in bed at night or I couldn't sleep because of stuff that we talked about on this show and wondering how are we going to help more people? How are we going to help more people see the truth about what's going on and what are they supposed to do and how they're supposed to, fix it or to get out from under it. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It just tears me up. I don't know how we're supposed to help our country. When we're not even allowed to tell the truth. That's all I've tried to do. I've tried to back every single thing we've ever talked about on this show with links, interviews, all kinds of stuff. Okay. And I still got my channel taken down for 3 weeks because I did an interview with the Florida Surgeon General. And it was his interview they said was medical misinformation. And I just still can't get over that. I still cannot understand how YouTube would do that. Yeah, YouTube has every right to say that I'm full of shit and that they don't like anything I say. But guess what? That's exactly what they're doing to Biden. That's why all these people are going to jail, because that woman was praying in front of an abortion clinic and they put her in jail for 2 years. She's going to jail for 2 years. She's in her 70s because she was praying in front of an abortion clinic. That's where we are. That's what the Nazis did. They stand in the street and call you and I Nazis because we believe in America first. I didn't say I voted for Trump. I like Ben Carson. And I've said that from day one. But because I don't agree with them, I'm a Nazi when they're the ones using Nazi tactics on us, trying to shut us up, making us watch propaganda over and over and over again with all these fucking lying media outlets that say stuff like democracy, 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 democracy. And every single channel, it's like they got the exact same script. They're all reading it. And we're all sitting up listening to all their shit, just lapping it up. Yum, yum, yum. I like my shit when it's covered with democracy. It's
I know what you mean. I'm playing.
It's so sickening. It makes me so angry, and and the only ones that care are us. It seems like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do different. But I've gone, where I could barely sleep at night, worrying about people and about the people that are sitting there at home thinking and trusting their government when their government's screwing them left and right, and they don't even know. They still don't know. Just like you said, what was it? 33% of people said they thought Biden won the debate. Because the reason they think that is because they were told by that same station, Trump lied 27 times.
Right.
See, that's why. That's why they don't know the truth, because they're not allowed to be told the truth, because these people are kissing the government's ass for whatever reason. And I hope to God they're getting paid so much money, so when they turn around and try to throw all them in prison and take what they believe, what they said and all the things they've earned away from them because they feel like it, that they have enough money to pay for all the lawyers they're going to need to keep them from going to prison. See what I mean? But it's not, money's not enough, you know?
Yep.
I don't know how they live with themselves. I really don't. But is there anything you want to say about it, Orange Hat, about what I just said?
Nope.
You agree with everything I just said?
Potentially, yes.
You're reading?
I am not reading. I am attending to something.
Okay, well, that was basically everything I had that I wanted to talk about today, because that was the stuff that I thought was most important, and that was the fact that what the ruling came out with the SCOTUS, and the fact that we're being lied to every minute of the day from our media outlets. And if you don't, and what's sad though is I have 4 sisters. 2 of them, besides me, are on this app, but only one other one is on here every day, reading, tweeting, getting information. And that information she gets from this, she goes to other apps and looks things up, and she reads and she shares it in our sister chat. We have a sister chat and we share. Sandy and I share stuff all the time. And sometimes they comment and sometimes they don't. But guess what? Where they get their news from Fox News and from some of the other news outlets, and that's it. They're not, and they're on Facebook, okay, which I'm not on, because it's fake book is what it is to me. They're all full of shit. They're all liars. They don't tell the truth. They lie, and if you say anything that's factual, they'll kick you off, or they'll take your stuff down, or block it out, or whatever it is that they decide to do, because they don't want you to share facts. They don't want you to share the truth. They want you to share lies and propaganda. That's it. And because of what I'm saying, heck, I might not even have my channel tomorrow. So if you guys come and you try to see my channel tomorrow on my YouTube channel and it's gone, go see me at Janet's Universe on Rumble, because they hate me on YouTube, and I'm not even monetized. It could be another year before I can even get enough view hours to get monetized, because most of my stuff is shorts. You know, I don't do a lot of live streams. But the thing is, when I do the live streams, I do it because I'm trying to share what I think is important information for all of us. You know, all of us on this panel don't even think everything the same. Okay. And what boring a world will we have if we're all like, neat, 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 lockstep, you know, robots? How boring is that? I like the fact that we have different points of view, and that we don't want to see everything the same, exactly the same. But we go about it differently, but we all believe in freedom. We all believe that we should be free to come and go as we please, and to say what we think is right or wrong, and without repercussion. But right now we've got a government that's arresting people and putting them in jail and using fake bullshit to go through court and say, well, you know, our judge says you're guilty, so fuck you. They don't give a fuck whether it's truthful or not, or whether it's even real evidence. It's not. Okay. Just like all these people in January 6th are still sitting in jail, and not one of them's been not one has been convicted of insurrection, but that's what they call it on a daily basis. They call it insurrection, and it isn't. It's not an insurrection. Look up what an insurrection is, and that is not what happened. None of these people have been arrested for that, and none of them had guns ablazing like you'd think, cannons or whatever they'd need to take over the Capitol. So
like I said, folks, if we wanted to take our nation back, we could do it. January 6th is a false representation or a misrepresentation of our potential. And that's what scares them the most.
I think what scares them the most is the fact they know that if we did rise up, they would lose. I really do believe they think that. to a degree. Now, there are a few that in the back of their mind, they're the ones that made the comments of, oh, we'll have to leave the country. You know, those people, all those people. And some of them already left. Some of the pedophiles and stuff have already packed their shit and left our country. They're already gone.
I hear him talking a big game, but you know what? They say, oh, we're going to leave the country. We're gonna leave. Then get the fuck out. Miley Cyrus, Whoopi Goldberg, and all those other bitches. If you guys are so fucking worried about Trump and shit, get the fuck out. Renounce your citizenship. Go to a different fucking country and become a citizen there. You know, like Tom Hanks did.
Yeah.
Except that bastard has a fucking dual citizenship with Greece and the U.S. I'm sorry, but if you're fucking fleeing the U.S. because you don't like the president, I'm sorry, your citizenship should be revoked.
Well, guess what? When Clinton won, I cried. I bawled my eyes out. I was so depressed. I couldn't believe it because everybody was saying, "Oh, I'm voting for the man with the plan." That's what they were saying.
A pervert, but at least he actually.
I know, but I'm just saying, emotionally, it was tough on me. And then I cried when Obama won, but I didn't pack my shit and leave. I stayed in the States and I tried to fight for my state. You know, I worked the polls. I cleaned trash up off the streets. I still volunteered and did things the same I did the year before that and the year before that and the year after and the year after. I still doing the same stuff. I'm still volunteering. I still fight for what I believe in. And I didn't put my tail between my legs and cry and suck my thumb in the corner because my team lost. Okay. I've never done that. And I'm not a quitter and I'm not going to just leave. But the thing is, and I didn't, when they tried to make me get the jab, I said, fuck you. I'm not getting it. I'm not taking the shot. You're going to have to put me in jail. And the scary fact about that is I had nightmares thinking they're going to come and arrest me. They're going to put me in a camp and then they're going to gas us all and they're going to jab us anyways. Okay. That's what I was thinking, but they didn't. It didn't go that far, but it could have. I mean, it could have. And every day that goes by with this administration in charge, closer and closer to November, where they have another chance to steal or whatever it is they're going to do. That's another chance where they're going to force us to do stuff against our will.
Janet,
they're going to tell you, fuck you, and do what they want anyways, because they don't give a shit. All they care about is the money you're paying
people of the United States.
Yeah.
Because we allow them to give us a taste of we allow them to give us a taste of their authoritarian actions.
Mm-hmm.
If they step further over it, we won't tolerate it.
Well, the scary thing is that some people already are. They're still driving
Those
around.
Those people are lost causes.
Yeah, I know. But those people are going to be in the mix. They're the ones that are going to be walking around not understanding what's going on. And some of them are going to die simply because they don't know what's going on. They're still clueless. They still think they're doing the right thing. Okay? Because they don't see they're being used as pawns in this game. Because they don't realize they have no freedom. See, and when you grow up not having freedom because you're used to everything you do being controlled by someone else, you don't have freedom. You're not free. So when you get a taste of real freedom where you have your own home, your own family, your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your wife or your parents, and you all live in the same home and you eat what you want, you cook your own meals, you grow your own food, you grow chickens or whatever it is that you choose to do, that's freedom. Okay, the government's not coming in and saying, here's your bread and here's your soup every day. Okay, and you're allowed to watch TV 5 minutes a day or whatever rules that they're putting down on you, like someone who might live in prison. Okay, they understand what it's like. Okay, and they don't want it. The whole time they're in there, they're trying to think of ways to get out. Okay, and here we have a whole country of people fighting to get in prison. And it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So that's all we're trying to do. We're just trying to give every Friday to try to give you guys a chance to see something you might not have seen or hear something you might not have heard, and be able to show you where we got it, talk about it, and what we would do about it if we could, or the chances that somebody else doing something about it. And what's happening right now is a few good things. You know, SCOTUS ruling in our favor to protect us, our rights, like our Constitution was meant to, that our forefathers had written up for us to be free. And if we don't fight for that, you know,
because the one thing that it also tells you that if you could basically tell somebody, if they asked you, Janet, they said, is Arkansas a good state to live in? And you would see definitely, yes, it is, because of everything you've experienced that has happened in your life.
I would recommend it's a good state.
Right. And that's the whole point in regarding to where people need to go to now. If you yourself don't have a place to go, find a place that you know where people go, and try and build a community there. Because things are not going to get any better unless you do something. And it's not basically expecting somebody to stand up and do something for you. You have to stand up. Janet is right. We do that. She goes on Spaces. She talks here on Friday. She does things on Thursday. She does her show. Orange Hat does this thing. I do my thing. We go on Twitter. We do that because we do care about what's going on in America.
Yep. Yeah. And we're doing the best we can with the resources that we have.
Yep.
To try to get the word out. And that, you know, that's something. So what are you doing? You know, are you trying to do something in your community? Are you trying to help other people see the truth and take steps to try to stop that from happening to your town and to your city and to your states? As long as we can try to do that, I think we can make a difference. And I think we are making a difference.
That's right. That's how we do it. That's how it has to be done.
But so I want to say thank you to everybody for coming tonight and hanging out with us for a little bit. And I hope we were entertaining for at least a little while. And we didn't bore you too much or get you upset or whatever. But I just want to say thank you to Ruben and to Orange Hat for hanging out with me. And all of the people in the chat, I really, really appreciate all of you. Because without you and you guys' support, you know, we wouldn't have anyone to talk to or to listen to us. So we really appreciate all of you. So you want to say anything about your channel, Orange Hat?
Well, Saturdays don't got much going. Sundays is my weekly recap with Kate from Nerd with a Cigar. We're going to be talking the Acolyte and other news. Also Monday night rants on 8 p.m. I'm refining it because the last one was, or the pilot for Monday Night Rants was less than the desirable results. I'm going to try refining it as we go along. That's how it happens on YouTube. You got to refine your craft. Tuesday is the theme streams. I'm doing nature horror movies and discussing their impact on society and whatnot. At 1:30 p.m. on Tuesdays. Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Society Reviews channel for the Barroom podcast. A couple weeks from next week, not next week, but the week after, me and OG Mar Jade are going to be talking Mad Max and the original on her channel, and Mad Max 2 Road Warrior for ones and twos. Yep. And for the singles, we are doing the Legend of Tarzan, the one with Skarsgård as Tarzan, and Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Ah,
so yeah, I enjoyed it thoroughly. So yeah, that's what I got planned. And Friday nights is Orange Hat Uncensored with Janet and Ruben.
Okay, so Ruben, what do you have planned coming up?
Basically, I'll have my videos coming out, hopefully, on my Rumble channel, YouTube, X. I've upgraded my X account, upgraded my StreamYard account, so I'll be putting out more content there. Yesterday, I had some content I did with Haya. We did a celebration for Independence Day, and it was a very nice stream. and I'll be doing more of that. But catch me there. So catch you all over the place, and my Instagram will be revamped to doing some more things there. So things are coming out very soon. So happy summer, everybody here. Let's get it going.
Right. It sounds awesome. Well, tomorrow I won't have a game, and then Sunday we don't do a movie stream because Bruce is on like a call or something, so he might have to go to work. So we decided not to do it. But next weekend on the 14th, we're gonna do the movie Screamers, something like that. Yeah, Screamers. I've never seen it before, so it's gonna be a new movie that we'll watch in Bruce's Discord. It came out in like 1995.
Scanners? No, not Scanners.
No, Screamers. It's called Screamers.
Okay.
So I don't know. I've never seen it. So I don't know who's in it or anything. And I don't have the information. I just have it listed of the name of it. And then that's Saturday, I'll be playing, I think it's the Bruce's game. The one that he's writing. I think it's that one. I sometimes I get mixed up, but we'll be playing DD, but I just don't know which one on next Saturday. And then Thursday, I'll have the Thursday night shit show, and then we'll have the Friday night shit show. Thursday night, I think KT, she's a friend of mine on an X. I think she's going to be my guest, and I can't remember what our topic was because she was going to send it to me, but everything got pushed back a week, because my friend Mikey was going to do the Constitution stuff with me last week, and he got a fever and he wasn't feeling good. So he didn't get to, we were going to talk about the Constitution, different things about the Constitution. I was excited about it, but because I was going to learn a few things, because he's really smart when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I didn't get to do it. So that's all I got planned so far. Now I am doing a couple little things that I started doing on X, and it's called the Video Wars. Okay, it's where I've been getting on there and just playing like music videos, like 5 or 6 ones, picking a different songs just to play. But I started, it's called Coffee and Jams. Okay, and I do that in the morning. But then I decided to try Video Wars, which I did my first show a couple days ago, because there was a gentleman that had said some things to me on X in a space, and I go to a lot of music spaces where, you know, the person say, do you want to hear a song? And I'd pick one, and when I'd pick a song, like I picked a song called like Paradise by Stick Figure, or Young the Giant, My Body, you know, different songs like that. And he told me that he was wondering who was influencing me on my music choices, and I was like, I play music. I ask for music that I have on my music list, you know, on my phone, because I work out to some of it and I listen to stuff I listen to. But he thought somebody has to be influencing me because I'm too old to enjoy that kind of music. So I was like, oh, who in the hell are you? You don't even know how old I am. So it was funny. Yeah. So I told him, I want to invite you to do a show with me, and I want you to pick 5 videos. And I'm gonna pick 5 videos.
I was there since the first, well, technically the first, well, yeah, the first video ever was on MTV. I was there. I saw it when it played. Were you?
Oh, really? Which one was that? Which one was the first one? Do you remember? The very first video? What was it?
The Video Kills Video Star.
Oh, really? I love that song. I'm gonna have to get that on my playlist again. But the thing is, so I told him to pick videos that, you know, that of music he liked, and then pick the videos that you liked that influenced, you know, you, or who you think affected the world with your music video, not just a song that had a video. The video affected the people, so the song became a hit because of the video. That's what I was saying. So songs that I picked my very first one was Don't Take the Girl. Remember that one? About the guy who's taking his little boy fishing, and the little girl comes over the fishing pole and goes, don't take the girl, take Tommy Thompson, take so-and-so. And then he dating her a few years later. He's dating the girl, and they get robbed. And he said to the robber, you know, take my wallet, take my keys, don't take the girl. And then the next part of it was where she's pregnant, she's about to have her baby, and the doctor comes out and says the baby's fine, but mommy's fading fast. And he gets on his knees and he plays to God, please don't take the girl. It's a really good song. It's by Trace Atkins or something. I can't remember exactly, but I played that video because to me, it was a really good video, very heartwarming, and it almost made me cry every time I watched it. I just remember being on TV and I loved it. And then I picked the song by Lonely Island, I'm on a Boat. In that one. So I played that. It was fun. I had beach ball and I had water wings on. I had props for all my different videos. And then I did the Thong song by Cisco. I played that because of the cool video effects, with the black lights, and everything that he did for that video was just really, really good. And then let's see, I'm trying to remember the other. Oh, and then I picked Sledgehammer because of the stop motion that they used in the video, because it was iconic. These were to me, these were iconic videos that changed music. It changed TV. That's why I've chosen them. And then my last number one video I picked had to be the number one best video of all time. It was Thriller by Michael Jackson. So that's what I played. And he picked some really good ones. But to me, when he said that he found this one video that day, basically, and I go, well, then that's not a video that influenced you. This is a song that you picked because you thought it was going to be moving to the people or whatever that was going to be watching the video war. So it was different than what I was asking to do. But the thing is, I told the people that were there, don't worry about it, because I don't care if I win or lose. I'm playing what I like. Just like I have on all my music that's on my phone, my old phone is where I keep all my music because I don't have to worry about getting phone calls or anything. I can listen to it while I'm working out, right? And I don't have any service. I just have internet and I can listen to whatever music I want. You know what I mean? So that's what's on there. And I've got like 388 songs or something in my playlist or whatever, but it's all different genres. I don't like just country. I don't like just like rap. I like lots of different stuff, and I've always done that. So I just thought it was really funny, but that was my first video I did, and I did it only on Rumble and X, so I wouldn't get in trouble on YouTube. So I'm not going to do any of those on YouTube.
You do remind me of that lady from that movie, the Blues Brothers, of course.
Which one? The one that was trying to kill him the whole time?
No. Well, but I meant the line. Yeah, we like all music here, but we like country and Western.
Oh, that's right. That was great. You said that before to me. I remember that because we did do the Blues Brothers, and I made a habit, and I wore it for the
I like
show.
That one.
That was great. Yeah, it was fun. I love doing all that. I just absolutely love doing that with Bruce. It's so much fun. I felt so privileged that he asked me if I would want to do that stuff with him. And I'm thankful for it because he's the one that got me involved and made me want to go.
I know who you can cosplay the best now. Dolly Parton herself.
I haven't done her yet.
You haven't done Dolly Parton?
Maybe if we do 9 to 5, I can dress up like Dolly Parton. We haven't done that movie yet.
Janet's boobs aren't big enough to do Dolly Parton.
Yeah, I'd have to stuff them because she's like really big. I mean, she's like watermelon boobs.
And like they're natural too. That's crazy.
They're huge.
And they haven't lost any. And they haven't even
and
lost.
It makes everybody says, do you know why Dolly Parton's waist is so small?
It's because it all went to her chest. Say what?
Nothing grows in the shade. See, I thought that was hilarious. I think my dad
that is a good one, yeah.
But it was funny.
It's funny.
But I just want to say thank you to everybody for hanging out with us. And I'm sorry I went on a rant, but I couldn't help it. I was telling y'all about that. It was exciting. But you guys have a great weekend and enjoy yourself. Try not to get dehydrated in this heat, and don't get sunburned. Because I'm sure it's going to be nice and sunny and beautiful this weekend. So everybody have a wonderful time. And thank you so much for hanging out with us and choosing our stream to hang out with us. Thank you so much. Bye.